So about a month ago, I highlighted a Menagerie Death Knight deck, and I recently saw that Menagerie Hunter is a thing, and it actually has a pretty high win rate, and with Hunter being my favorite class, I had to check it out. You'll see that the early game for this deck and the Menagerie Death Knight deck are very similar, with some powerful neutral minions with Firefly as our elemental and Murmy as our Murloc, and Undead. And we also have Vicious Slitherspear, which is a 1-mana 1/3 Naga. After you cast a spell, gain +1 attack until end of your next turn. This is probably our most powerful 1-drop, so this is the card that we're mostly wanting to see in the mulligan. And we also have a very similar top end with the Menagerie Jug, the namesake card of this deck. 5 mana, 3/3, Battlecry, give 3 random friendly minions of different minion types, +3/+3. This list also runs the other Menagerie card, Menagerie Mug, which is a 3 mana 3/3, give 3 friendly minions of different minion types, +1/+1. Now, I was initially on the fence of the Mug, but every time I played it, it overperformed. So don't sleep on this card like I did, because this is a sleeper powerhouse in these Menagerie decks. Now let's get into what makes Menagerie Hunter different from Menagerie Death Knight, and that is, of course, the Hunter cards. This deck is, in my opinion, a lot better at swarming the board, and that is partially thanks to the Death Rattle package. And that includes Nerubian Egg, Extraterrestrial Egg, and as well as Terrible Chef, which has a battle cry of summoning a Nerubian Egg, and Death Rattle, destroy it. And the reason that we are running all of these eggs is because of Terrorscale Stalker. This is a 2 mana 2/3 with a battle cry of trigger a friendly minion's death rattle. And if you can get this deployed on turn 3 or 4, that is an incredibly wide board, and that sets up for a perfect Menagerie Jug or potentially a Zilliax Deluxe 3000, which is a 7 mana 3/5. Your other minions get +1 attack, and it costs 1 less for each friendly minion. So we're really leaning on going very wide with our board. And that is pretty much Menagerie Hunter. If you want to take this deck for a spin, I will leave the deck code down in the description. And if you enjoy Hearthstone content like this, please consider subscribing. It would help out this channel a ton. Anyway, let's get into some games. Alright, Paladin. The true test of any deck, can you be a Paladin opponent in the standard format? With this hand, I'm not thinking I can. Really want to find a 1-drop, so Firefly, Murmy, Slitherspear. I kind of like remote control. Nerubian Egg is like great if I had an enabler, which I don't. I'll keep the remote control. If I had an enabler in hand, I'd keep the egg, but it does not seem wise to keep it with nothing to support it. Cool. We found our 1-drop, and we did find the support naturally, so if you are results-oriented, you would say that was a misplay, but we're not results-oriented over here. We are, I mean, never punished, right? Just get out the egg. Send 2 eggs back. Top deck the one of them that you threw back because you drew your Terrorscale. This couldn't go better. So if I lose, I am very not skilled. Okay, another Vicious. Do I give them another thing to smack into? Probably. Trigger that Death Rattle. I forget, does this have a minion type? Undead. This doesn't. This is a Naga, and this is an egg. Cool. Would be cool if eggs eventually got some sort of tag. Yawns until wild gaming. Aren't we all? Are you telling me you're not enjoying this beautiful standard meta of Paladin? Would you rather me go to the wild meta of Paladin? Oh, I love the Paladin class. It's so cool. Standard and Wild Gaming is what I titled this. Yeah, I forgot. I should have just done Wild, of course. But, you know, you got to give my Standard gamers some love. Divine Brew Part 2 with a flickering light bot. Thinking it might be a Patchwork Pals into Leok kind of game. Or I could remote control Murmy. Kind of like that idea. Get a wider board. And we can... Do I instead clear this 3-3? Because, like, if they don't have anything to target, it kind of gets a little awkward for them. I'm going to be a control deck for a second. Which might be a little weird because I am playing, like, the most aggressive deck in the format. But Paladin likes to target their own thing, so if they don't have something to target, you see where this is going. Okay, they got an armament. And they're coining out something to target. Okay, now I'm going to ignore what they're doing. I think that's a good play. Because I can take 8. I've taken 8 before. Let's go with a bit of a Leok situation. I think we're just shoving. We're just shoving damage at my opponent. And not thinking twice. Yeah. So I'll take 8 if my opponent wants to. I'm not really sure what they have in terms of board clears this early in the game. Like, is it just the tree? I'm sure my opponent will humble me here very quickly. Okay, well that's not really humbling yet. Coining into a 4-drop, and that 4-drop would be the Maw. Or Maul. Yeah, I'm not convinced by that one. I mean, especially if I'm top decking like an absolute madman. Yep, Zilliax closing down games as he does. And get this Paladin opponent out of my face. I'm sure that will be the very last Paladin I see today. Just churning through these gold ranks. Got a bit of a druid situation.
Show me your strength. Let the hunt
I think remote control spits out mech beasts. I really want to test out Menagerie Mug because I'm still not convinced this card is good. But like, I don't think it's a card that you're supposed to keep in the hand, even if it is good. I'm probably not supposed to keep it. Remote control is solid. The Coconut Cannoneer is a 2-mana 1/4 that could be a little bit tricky for the Druid to deal with. Yeah. Let's find a 1-drop. Make this hand real nice. Aggro all day. That's what's up. I don't have time for these long control matchups. It's all about just Murmies. And maybe we're going to be coining out a terrible chef next turn. Probably a remote control. I mean, I have just so many options next turn. Again, aggro's the best. You have so many options early. Control, I feel like control, you just like, most of the times you just play the card that's glowing green and you're doing okay. But aggro, like, look at all these glowing cards. Look at all these options. Like, I can play like all the cards in my hand except for, I mean, like Menagerie Jug, but that's neither here or there. I think I'm just gonna get the Coconut Cannoneer out. shoot that shot and end the turn. Do you like the hand buff Death Knight? I've tried hand buff Death Knight a little bit in the past. I was probably just drawn like ice cold. It did not treat me super well. That being said, whenever I play against that deck, I feel like I get bodied like every time. So they drew 2 minions and gave them +2/+2. I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. Let's test it out. Let's see how it does. And we will end the turn. Next turn is probably just a coin Menagerie Jug. Like, that's just so much stats. Sky Mother Aviana has graced my screen. I mean, let's stick to the game plan. That's 6 damage. They are at 9. Love to see it. But yeah, hand buff Death Knight, I see has a crazy high win rate, but it's actually a deck I was kind of planning on playing today. But we'll see. We'll see if I get around to that. I think my opponent may have lost the video game. Yeah. If we are results oriented, which we are because we are good gamers, the Mug seemed busted that game. 3 wins in a row with the old Menagerie Hunter. Another Death Knight. Yep. What flavor of Death Knight will this be? Your guess is as good as mine. Let's try keeping the Mug again. I was pleasantly surprised by how well that performed. So let's try it out. 1, 2 into 3. How does an opponent beat that? Okay, so I've learned that this card is played in a Starship Death Knight, so I cannot assume that this is Menagerie. But it still most likely is Menagerie. Especially with that. Yeah. Luckily, I have ways to clear that. So let's touch that one up. Hit that one, and next turn might just be Murmy Egg. But if they just go face with Murmy and don't swing into my 1/1, yeah, that was pretty much always going to happen. Maybe it's still worth it. To Menagerie Mug.
I hunt alone.
Especially if I coin out Murmy. Yeah. This seems absolutely worth it. Make my board absolutely huge. And do I take this opportunity to swing my 3/3 into their 1/1? No. They are on trading duty. I am the aggressive deck. Just like with how well Hunter swarms the board, this guy's like seemed like to only land on 2 or 3 minions on curve pretty much every time. Okay, I might be a believer. I definitely don't think this should be a 2 of, but I think the 1 of Mug makes a lot of sense. Oh no. It's the hand buff deck. That's okay. I could probably race whatever they're doing with what I'm doing. Let's pick up another minion type, ideally, so that my Menagerie Jug can do something. I mean, I will always get a minion type off of remote control, but let's see what else we can find. Maybe coconut? Yeah, let's go with the coconut man. But I also just want to get out my 2/1. So I do have my 3 minion types. So if they play a big old taunt, I should be able to punch through. Faces the place, duh. I see we have another fellow Hunter main in the chat. Hunter is by far the class I have the most wins with. It's not close. Back when Deathstalker Rexar was in Standard, I played an obscene amount of Hunter.
You could use a scrim.
Ooh. That's pretty good. Oh, they're just going to crack my egg for me. I love that. I love that for me. Because that's an undead. Murloc, Naga. I do need to bump into there because lifesteal, but I am 100% okay. Feels like whenever Menagerie Jug does like a full board buff, like it's really hard to lose. Oh, there's that gnome muncher I was worried about. So if I swing into that, they go up to 21. And I feel like I need to swing with my Slitherspear because of positioning. But I'm also going to make my Slitherspear a little bigger this turn because of tracking. Ooh. Terrorscale Stalker is insane this turn. Yeah. So I think I'm just on Egg Stalker. It's the combo. Workhorse is also maybe a consideration. Well, that's happening every time. So if I go Workhorse, Stalker, that is a full board. But just to play around removal, let's just do it like this. Swing in there. So now if they have removal, they also need to heal, because then they're just dead to a hero power. Okay. That is a bit unfortunate. Okay. We're living. No problem at all. Fantastic. Okay. Menagerie Mug continues to impress. Huge fan. Facing against the Ocean Man. Menagerie Mug's not great. Really just looking for 1-drops. Get out on the board early, especially against Rogue. They can have a blistering fast start. They also went for a full mulligan. Gotta respect opponents that join you in the fun. Hello from Brazil. How's it going, Haber? Or Heber? Well, it's Victor. I definitely know that one. They played a Web Weaver. Do I remote control into that?
I wonder.
No. Point's pretty valuable. Don't want to get too antsy. So they have a Lucky Comet. And if they do trade into my Murmy for me, I will absolutely clear that spider. Yeah, that spider is going to get smoked. Slightly bad order. Should have played this, then coined out the weapon. That could have been a 2-3 instead. I don't think it will matter. But just in case it does, I like to shout it out before I do it. The Crystal Cove is out. Hopefully they didn't hit the card that makes that really good. Okay, so nobody tell my opponent to target my 1/1s. Because RC Rampage is about to go absolutely ham. That is a very slow play for my opponent. How do you feel about huge dogs? Oh, it doesn't buff up the current ones? Note to self, it does not buff up the current ones. Is that how it works? I mean, it's obviously how it works, but any that can't fit, you give the others. You don't just give the RC Hounds +1/+1. Okay, well, you know, you live, you learn. So for this turn, I am definitely having the rogue experience right now.
Arise, twin shadows.
Zilliax is pretty good. So let's go with Stalker into Big Zill. And we'll get in the 1 damage while we can. This will pop the egg. And let's also... Do I coconut or do I just steady shot? We'll go with coconut. You can have your 2/3. And they are at 10. Perfect. So they pretty much had the best start you could have, minus that dubious purchase turn that was awfully slow. Webweaver into Telgath. Oh no. Yeah, Telgath is going to do a lot on this board. It's so funny, like, everybody was clowning on this card for just being so bad. But, like, turns out it's just, like, a perfectly viable legendary. Zilliax finally bites the dust. And is my opponent dead if they leave 2 minions up? So that's a backstab. I will also take a backstab, thank you. And a shadow step. I will also take a shadow step. And shadow step does give me lethal. Sick. Cool. Yeah, let's just get a little bit of a shadow step lethal. So we get a Huffer. Get in there for 2 or for 4 Huffer. Shadow step said Huffer. Get him out there again. And I am bad at math. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I thought he was going to cost 0, but you know. A-okay. We're just going to backstab this guy. They don't have any healing. They wouldn't have any healing. Cool. Cool. Did I think their minions also took double damage? No. No, I didn't think that. Not for one moment did I think that. Sick. I played that game perfectly. No notes. No need to leave comments. I don't think you can find a single flaw in how I played that game.
Versus Uther.
Oh. I love the Paladin class.
Hunt begin.
I think Paladin's cool. I think Paladin is just the coolest class you can possibly play. Coconut Cannoneer. I think I can find something better. I'd rather find a 1-drop. Remote control's fantastic. The more I play with this card, the more I'm just like realizing the power of it. Can I please have that egg back? Maybe? Nope. Okay. No 1-drop, by the way. That's A-okay. Life-saving aura. And then Menagerie Mug. Okay, perfect. So I definitely want to get remote control going because of these guys having 2 types. Menagerie Mug loves to see that. And next turn I might just deploy the Mug. If they hero power this turn because they need a dude, that'd be fantastic. Sometimes they have to do that. But this is a holy spell, right? So they might just have Lightbot. Your opponent's spells cost 1 more. Okay, well I don't have many of those in this deck. I have 6 total, with none being in my hand.
Move quickly.
Cool. Yeah, Menagerie Mug is just going to be a 3/3 that gives +2/+2. Yeah, that seems good enough for me. Get out the Mug. Buff up my dogs. Start crashing in there. And next turn I have Stalker Egg combo. So if they play Flickering Lightbot, I can just smack it down. They're coining out something. An O manager. Okay. Spend a coin, get a coin. And now they will spend another coin for a Libram of Clarity. Okay. Pretty strong turn from the opponent. That will produce a Flickering Lightbot ×2. But I can clear those, luckily. So let's get out the egg. That will smack one of them down. That will hit my face on another one. And 3 will go at their head. So now they need to deploy their big ones before they can start targeting their stuff again. And right now I have 1, 4, 6, 8. No. 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Now we're counting. So 9 total. If I get Leok out, that will be 9 + 5, 14. There's Flash of Light to make me miserable. So we might just be dealing with a Terrorscale Stalker on a 0/2 this turn. Then a Divine Brew. So their 8/8s are probably free at this point. They're not. I knew that. Everybody knew that. Ooh, I probably should have not missed that damage. But you know, that's fine. If I lose by 2, you can flame me in the comments. How's that sound? Agree? Cool. So they are on that imbue strategy. And then a Divine Brew. Okay. Don't really mind that Divine Brew. And then a Hand of a Doll. Okay, that's kind of annoying. into a glow stick. Okay, my opponent had a phenomenal turn. So let's try to have a similarly great turn. So let's go with Leok. Crash into here. Crash into there. And let's get some charge damage going. Right at their head. And luckily, this actually deals damage to their head as well. They're at 1. Okay. The Paladin class isn't known for their healing. Would they be dead if I didn't miss that 2 damage? Sure. Sure. I mean, you gotta give your opponent some a chance or two. It's really bullying if I don't give them a chance, if you think about it. Divine Brew, okay. Into Holy Glow Sticks. Surely they can't get out of range with what I'm doing. Okay, they put a sweat on me. I'm sweating a little bit. Okay. Should have been turn 6 lethal. Will I count it as turn 6 lethal? Absolutely. Absolutely, that was turn 6 lethal. Fantastic. I think that's 5-2 with Menagerie Hunter. Cool. Pretty slept on deck, honestly.